Unleash the champion within.
What's going on? Welcome to another exciting week of football right here on the Central Florida High School Scoreboard Show on Varsity Sports Nation. I got my main man, AJ Brooks, certified dogs over there, man.
Hey,
legend. What's up?
Hey, time out, man. I'm not certified dog no more. We 5-star sports.
No more.
We merged with a partner with Kirby Joseph, all pro safety. So now I'm no longer certified dog. I'm moving on from that. I am 5-star sports.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on that, bro. 5-star sports.
Y'all heard it here first.
Yes, sir. Live, and you got QB Be True quarterback training. Baylin Trujillo. What's up, my man?
What's up, my guy? And some of my top quarterbacks will be playing for him. So
Hey.
better get to know the name real soon. So yeah, you see, I got my Fighting Irish on this week. They had a great turnout last night on the college football show. Miami's not winning right now, so I'm going to have to switch gears here and go for a team that lost to Miami but is currently in a good position right now. So shout out to Notre Dame. Also had to wear it for Noah after what he did this past Friday night, but we'll talk about that. And
we'll talk about that.
Not talk about that. Hey, Lake Mary. I just saw the reel.
Me
it was
too.
classic. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I hate. Man, I got to be more modest when I make these picks. Like, I never had to go through that. I always left that to Baylin, but this year I've been a little more vocal, and I've been paying for it.
But you know what? I'll give you this, AJ. You are only more vocal with your teams. The people that they're the teams that you put blood, sweat, and tears and time. There's Edgewater, and there's obviously Bishop Moore. You arguably had the best Letterman jacket I've ever seen in ever. We were at the Boone game with the half and half. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, we'll talk about that in our yeah, for sure. But we saw it. We definitely saw it.
We got a lot of football to cover. We're going to have our Week 11 results, talk about some dudes. We're going to take a break, talk about our top 10 as of last week, and then we're going to have Andy. Sorry?
I said in our new top 10, something happened last night that
yeah.
Shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, man. And we got Andy Villamarzo joining us to talk about some county reports. So let's get right into it, fellas.
Let's do it.
We had that barbecue bowl. Cocoa Tigers took on Rockledge Raiders 36-0. Now, they didn't even score. What happened?
You know, there's a saying, and I'm familiar with this saying. I know AJ is too, and of course, O's. But whenever you see somebody and you're in a sports activity or competitive game, you're like, you're barbecue chicken. Or this is going to be barbecue chicken. Yeah, well,
chicken.
It was all barbecue chicken Coco's way in the barbecue bowl, and they ate plenty of it. Yeah, no chance Rockledge had any competitive spirit in this game. This game was over from when it probably started in pregame warmups. Champ Smith almost went perfect. I think he had one incompletion the entire night with several touchdowns. He's starting to get healthy and playing the way that I know he is capable of, which is why we brought him into Coco as a 4-star. He's starting to play who he is, and the team is finally starting to click. We always said that. Once they're starting to get the later half of their season and going into the playoffs, Coco starts to find their way. Rockledge, unfortunately, has been in a rebuild the last couple of years. I still think that they're trying to figure themselves out, but they're just no match for Coco right now.
Yeah, Coco's on a 3-game winning streak heading into the playoffs. They're doing what Coco normally does at this time of the year, win ball games. Look like they're back on track. They're getting back healthy. So that's a key thing for them. But yeah, this was barbecue chicken all night last Friday, 36-0. That's crazy work.
That's crazy work, Doc. Winter Springs took on Lake Howell Silverhawks on the Tuscaloosa Tussle, 31-28.
Hey, go ahead, because there's a lot to talk about in this game.
Yeah, they got us too. They got us on another meme, man.
Dude.
But I mean, it is what it is. This was a pretty good game, though. 31-28. It was back and forth game. Lake Howell had their chances to win, but Winter Springs, it's been a magical year for them. So shout out to them, Coach Dykes and the rest of his crew. They've done a fantastic job. So yeah, good win.
Look, man, the Winter Springs kept it classy. They were giving us credit for the show. Some of the players were like, you obviously got the scoreboard wrong. You should have re-predicted the score, whatever. I mean, honestly, other than the people in that Winter Springs locker room, let's be honest, who probably would have picked Winter Springs to win this game? I sure didn't. Obviously, AJ didn't. We were wrong. Great job to Winter Springs. But lo and behold, this game became a TikTok. I know there were some things that happened after the game. I did not realize there was an absolute brawl. This rivalry went to literally a tussle. Literally. So, Dan, if that's what you wanted to call it, that's what it became. Unfortunately, there was things that happened. A player got arrested.
Dan.
Yeah, for what it looked like, a player got arrested. I don't know what for. I've heard rumors that, I don't even want to get into it because it's not really ours to talk about. But yeah, I saw the video, which I freaked out because I didn't realize what I was watching until I saw the helmet, and I'm like, wait a second. And then I rewatched it and it said Lake Howell, and yeah, that was nasty, man. I don't know what players are involved or who got suspended. I know that was not the way any team would want to go out. Obviously, high emotions, especially with a team that was probably arguably favored to win, and they didn't. And Winter Springs with the good emotions of winning the game. I know there might have been some trash talk at the end. But yeah, I don't like games ending like that, especially in rivalry games when it's very competitive. But Winter Springs, they kept it classy on social media, and I respect the coaches for doing that. And dude, they had a heck of a season. I believe 7-3 going into the playoffs. Phenomenal job, because Winter Springs is not normally a team that we've talked about since the 10 years I've done this show.
Yep, they're second in their district, finished the season 7-3. Lake Howell finished 6-4, third in that district. I think Lake Howell's done. I don't think Lake Howell will make it to the playoffs, but Winter Springs will.
Tavares Bulldogs took on East Ridge, 77-35. Why are you shaking your head, Baylin?
Because you know what? Tavares, we had a good rapport with them. At least I did, because there was one week where I was the only one that picked them to win, and they did. And they gave me credit for it. And then they went after Coach Lowe. They obviously made a little post.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm on the opposite side of that this week. And they scored 77 points. Like, it was my time to finally pick East Ridge in a football game. I've been against them all year because of how weak their schedule's been. Well, guess what, guys? They've lost, I believe, 4 straight to end the season. And that was their 4 hardest games. And they got absolutely mollywopped in all of those games. So it wasn't even like they were competitive in the good games. So it just kind of shows you there is a big jump where East Ridge is when it comes to being competitive. And Tavares, brother, I thought AJ was pulling my tail when he was texting me and texting me and texting me. It was almost like every 5 minutes an update of a score. And I'm like, there's no way Tavares is putting up this many points. And they sure as heck did. And, yeah, we were wrong, and this was an absolute embarrassment.
Yeah, the more and more I think about it, I should have obviously picked Tavares. Tamari Collins, I mean, this young man had 18 carries, 234 yards, and 5 touchdowns. On the season, he's a 1,500-yard rusher, so I should have kind of played that in the factor, but I thought that East Ridge offense would be overwhelming. They were productive, scoring 35 points, but at the end of the first quarter, their defense gave up 21 points. And then in the second quarter, their defense gave up another 21 points. So it's just, I don't know, but they did have a pretty solid season, 6-4. But shout out to Tavares, man. They handled business Friday.
Did they?
First Academy took on Lakeland, 35-28, fellas. Let's get it.
Hey, TFA, shout out to my dogs over at TFA. They gave me a shout out on Twitter because I was the only one to pick them to win this game, which is crazy because
It's only me and you.
AJ's been picking this team all year.
All damn year.
And
You see
they
how they
never
do
gave
me?
him a shout out, but the moment I did, Baylin, hey, appreciate you, my boy. It's almost like, dang, they forgot about my boy AJ, even though he did pick Lakeland. But I mean, honestly, they were down 14-0 quick. Lakeland at home. Shout out to Anthony Woods. That's a game changer. They put the eighth grader, not even a freshman, they put an eighth grader in there. And I believe he threw 3 touchdowns and helped TFA come back to win this game in overtime. Phenomenal football game. I would have loved to have been there to watch something this dramatic, especially at Lakeland, where they don't lose many football games. So I can only imagine what their fans were like. So yeah, AJ, go ahead.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. They mean me for sure. They clip me, but it is what it is. I mean, hell, my only thing is clip me when I pick y'all and y'all lose. Clip me then. They don't clip me then. They only clip me when I pick against them. But it's all good. I'm happy for them.
That is true, Venice. Yeah, they put you on that.
They clip me when I pick against them. Like, clip me then. So show me some support then. But it's all good. But what I do know, when I did mention, just to clarify things for the internet and everybody in the peanut gallery, when I mentioned the quarterback change in carousel, I really was talking about Landon Holly and Dillard. I didn't even think, to be honest with you, that Woods would play. Not to undermine him, but being an 8th grader, I just didn't even think they would put him in that situation. Now, what I will say about the kid is I saw him last year as a 7th grader at a middle school track meet, and he was a grown man then. He ran the 400, and if you know anything about track, like you run the 400, you're a grown man, and he did it effortlessly. I didn't see him lose a single race the whole track season until the counties. But not only did he play well, he went 19 for 21. He had 255 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, game-winning touchdown, to go to overtime. He was real clutch. So shout out to them. TFA ends the season at 5-5. They won't go to the playoffs. But all in all, I think TFA had a pretty solid season. It's not as good as they wanted it to be, but I think they're heading in the right direction. So yeah.
DP took on West Orange, the old Orange Crate, 1928.
Well, I talked to Coach Sapp after the game, and he said that there was 4 or 5 opportunities in the red zone where they came up with 0 points, not a couple points, 0 points. Not saying that would have, obviously, if you score 4 times, that score looks completely different, but they didn't, which means West Orange defense stepped up to the plate, and they made the plays that were needed to make. It resulted in a nice little W for West Orange. I believe this game was a little out of reach early, and then DP made a little comeback, and then they sealed the game at the end. AJ scored his first rushing touchdown in this game. He also broke the all-time school record in a single season. They still got more games to play. The kid's having a phenomenal year. I mean, he's putting up numbers like Noah did his sophomore year, and AJ is a sophomore. So if that says anything about who AJ is and what he's becoming, West Orange has arguably the best 2028. I know we talk about Jackson Stecker a lot. Elijah Nickerson's also a guy we're going to talk about here. Remy Jarman, some of the top 28 guys. But, yeah, AJ Chung's the real deal. And when you have him on the field, like AJ said for the last 3 years, when you have Noah Groves on the field, you got a chance. Well, guess what? You got AJ Chung on the field, you got a chance.
Yep, I saw this up close and personal first game of the season against Evans. Evans went down and scored the first drive, but AJ just led West Orange to a victory. He was composed. He was nice. He was smooth. He took what the defense gave him, and he also took more than they wanted him to take. Friday, he was 241 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, like you said, the game was they scored 21 points in the second quarter, so they got rolling. And, yeah, man, I something about West Orange, man. That's a well-coached ball club. They finished the season at 9-1. They'll get ready for the playoffs. So, yeah, good win.
Lakewood Spartans took on Osceola Cowboys 28-18.
Yeah, well-balanced game here.
This game was actually a lot closer than the score indicates. Osceola also had a lot of injuries. They got a lot of injuries heading towards the playoffs. So I'm not sure how that's going to fare for them going into this playoff stretch. But Lakewood, they're very talented. It was a competitive game, to be honest with you. It was a two-possession game, but it really was closer than that 10-point spread.
Yeah, you said it all.
This was on Varsity Sports Nation. We broadcasted this game. Lake Mary took on Bishop Moore 42-22. We got Ashley Michelle said Lake Mary is owing an apology tonight.
Whose mom is that? Whose mom is that? Listen, Miss Ashley. Who wanted Baylin? You want to go? You go ahead, Baylin. You go first.
Yeah, because Bishop Moore's your team. All right. In 3 years, I've never gone against Lake Mary, and I don't care if they were a drastic underdog. I don't care if they were favored, obviously. Even in the state championship when we did our prediction for Venice, I still called Lake Mary to win. And the one time that I said, because I truly believed that they were going to lose, they put on a show. Not only did they put on a show, they beat Bishop Moore at Bishop Moore on their senior night. You talk about a get back, a slap in my face, whatever you want to call it. Now, I will tell you this. The funniest thing that happened, as soon as the game was over, Donnelly texted me Molly. That's all he said was Molly. And you know what I said? Wow. Because that's exactly what took place on Edgewater Drive when Lake Mary went into Bishop Moore and put on a clinic. Now, I will tell you again, I did not go to this game. I was trick-or-treating with my son. And AJ, once again, was keeping me updated. And I did not believe him. I promise you. You can show the text. I said, dude, there's no way. Because I was like, Bishop Moore was rolling. Dude, it was 35-0 at one point. Then they scored. And what happened, AJ? A kickoff return. It was almost like whatever they did to score completely got eliminated by a kickoff return. Which, what does that mean, AJ? A running clock. And that's exactly what Lake Mary did against Bishop Moore, an absolute butt-kicking at Bishop Moore on Edgewater Drive. I saw the meme. I was a part of a meme, which is crazy. Never thought I would see myself in a Lake Mary meme, but I did. I said they could have put up 60 because that's what they did against Oviedo. And the reason why I bring up Oviedo, AJ, and Ano, because that's the only team Bishop Moore beat that was over 500 this year. So I should have stuck with my guns about quality of opponents, and I overlooked it because of how dominating Bishop Moore has been, and yet once they finally saw someone that matched their intensity, they got whipped.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm a proud Hornet. I'm gonna stand by my boys. They had a rough game. It is what it is, man. They had a rough game. I just don't know, man. It was ugly, bro. It was 28-0. So part one, man, I was on the sideline. I felt so bad. I was like, damn, man, did I put too much pressure on these boys on the show, like talking them up like that? And like, but then the other side of me was like, man, it's football, man. Hell, that ain't my fault they getting beat like that. They gotta go out there and play. But at the end of the day, I saw somebody on Lake Mary say bully ball, man, and I'm not even gonna stunt, man. That's what it was, man. It was bully ball. Lake Mary, they just ran the ball. One possession, Lake Mary literally ran the ball every single play, and it was like a 7 or 8 play possession for like 70 yards, and it just run 8 yards, run 12, run 14. But yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, it was 28-0. Bishop Moore scores, so I'm like, okay, 28-7 is we got something. The ensuing kickoff, Javen Robinson takes it 97 yards to the crib. I said, oh, that's game. It's over. It was just.
My boy said, I'm about to leave. I'm like, oh man,
I'm about to leave, man. I stayed to the whole game, but I do have like if I don't stay for blowouts. If it's a blowout, I'm out of there.
Yeah. You stood in the paint, man. You stood in the paint, dog.
It's all good though.
Hey, Richie Krause. That's the parent mother who had said that. So I owe you an apology because I'm sure you've seen me
Yes.
on multiple sidelines at Lake
Yeah.
Mary rooting on the Rams. And the one time I didn't, they put on a show that I don't think. Now, dude, I'll tell you what, because of this win, they
Bishop
moved
Moore's
up.
still the 1 seed, though. They still the 1 seed in
I'm
that
talking about
region.
for Lake Mary. Because of
Okay.
that win, now they potentially could be a 2 seed tomorrow when the playoffs come out, which
Strength of
is
schedule.
massive for Lake Mary. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to be at 3 or 4. But if they do, that's going to help them play the 7th seed. So we'll see how the FHSAA wants to rank Lake Mary after this absolute shellacking on Bishop Moore. But, you know, the crazy part about that video, though, was the ending when the kids said, hey, you said we talk about Edgewater Drive. There's nothing scary about this place. Oh, man, I'm like, they went right at us, man, right at us.
Yeah, man.
Last game, battle for the barrel. Edgewater took on Boone 28-7.
So they'll do it to Bishop Moore. You know, they won't go down they won't keep going down Edgewater Drive and have that same energy. But Bishop Moore, man, this is just a complete ball club. I think they have one of the best quarterbacks in this area in Carter Emanuel. They don't even ask him to do as much. I think once the playoffs come, I think that they'll ask him to throw the ball more downfield, spread it out more. But really right now, this is a team that is led by Damian Moore, rushing attack. Damian Moore, a young man, has over 1,000 yards rushing, over 20 touchdowns. Friday was a great game. Edgewater just they scored the first two times they got the ball. Boone did score one of those drives. I think it was 14-7, but Boone just pretty much they killed all the clock. They drained a lot of the clock away. They played a good ball control game, but Edgewater was just too much. When they needed to make the necessary plays to get the stops, they did that. And yeah, this is a very good ball club.
You know, we were at the game, and I was on the sideline, and actually Boone tied it at 7. So they had a Sam Johnson quarterback sneak. But I looked at you, AJ, and I just saw how the drive went. And I looked at you, and I literally – what did I say, AJ? What did I say the final was going to be?
Once Edgewater scored 7-0, they methodically drove down. Boone scored.
Yeah.
And then Edgewater scored again, and you looked at me and you said, the final score is going to be 35-7. I said, nah, man, they're going to score more than 7. You said, nah, it's going to be 35-7. And the reason why is because I'll let you say that.
No, I said the reason because I just saw how much they put into their drive to score on the previous drive. And I'm like, man, the way that Edgewater was just moving and the way that they were playing the game, you could just feel it. And I'm like, man, like, I just felt like it took a lot for Boone to get all the way down there to score a 1-yard touchdown, you know, and I'm like, and Edgewater just could really do whatever they wanted to, honestly. And I'm just like, man, I just feel like Boone just started to become predictable inside zones. Like, and, you know, the biggest plays Boone had was outside where Sam was on the run, throwing on the run. I looked at you, I'm like, 35-7. You looked at me like I was crazy. Well, 28-7.
AJ, you got some dudes.
Them dudes. Late Mary, these people still, they is in my inbox as we speak. I'm just getting notifications. I'm looking like, God, Late Mary, leave me alone. Y'all won.
You apologize already, man.
I'm sorry. But yeah, dudes of the week, offensive dude of the week, Trey Kelly had a phenomenal game. 19 for 21, 308 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. He set the all-time school record for, I think, all-time passes in a single season or career. But yeah, shout out to Trey Kelly. Good job, my boy. Defensive dude of the week, Nolan Herman. This young man had 18 tackles, 5 TFLs, 2 sacks. Just a dominating performance. Obviously, DP likes to run the ball, so he was able to load up on some tackles there. But 18 tackles, that's a hell of a day. Special teams dude of the week, Dimitri Pryor. We call him Meechy, Big Meech, not the little Meech. This young man had a punt return, also had 2 pick sixes. So he finished the game with 3 total touchdowns. On the year, he has 7 touchdowns. Last year, as a true freshman, he had 9. I told his head coach to start doing research on what's the state record and what's the county record and his school records, because He on pace to shatter every record there is with his interceptions.
He might have the record at Jones and at Evans for most of the season. That's the funny part. He actually might have been for both, but talk about a career. He's putting up numbers that one name I remember, and he did it in 2 seasons. Cormani McClain. Kid went absolutely berserk. One year, I believe, had 11 picks. Another one, he had 9. We're talking those type of numbers, and we saw he was a 5-star kid committed to Miami. Obviously, he was 6'1", long, rangy. So, Michi's got to grow about 2 more inches to be in that category. But the way he's playing, he seems like a dang 5-star, especially against the bigger time opponents, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Well, guys, we still have 1 half left of the show remaining. When we come back after this break, we'll have Andy Villamarzo join us from Rivals. So stay tuned right here on Varsity Sports Nation.
In the world of sports, every move counts. Every decision shapes your future.
At Influencer Counsel, we understand the importance of making the right choices and having wise counsel.
Our team specializes in legal counsel, ensuring every contract is airtight and every deal is in your best interest.
In this new world, financial responsibility is even more important than ever before. We ensure our clients understand this new responsibility and educate them on how to navigate it properly. Taxation obligations, investment opportunities, and purchasing assistance can mean the difference in their short-term and long-term success.
Our branding specialists work tirelessly to build and elevate your personal brand, making sure you stand out on and off the field. Join Influencer Counsel and maximize your opportunities. Legal, financial, branding, legacy. Your future starts here.
Listen closely. There's a part of Florida that you've probably never heard of before. Orlando North. Sounds like your next vacation.
Welcome back to the Central Florida High School Scoreboard Show right here on Varsity Sports Nation. We're back, and we got Andy Villamarzo here with us from Rivals. What's going on, Andy?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Been a minute since I've been on the Central Florida High School Scoreboard Show, so I'm going to try to memorize everything I can, because I know you guys are going to throw innovation at me and some of these teams.
You know it, baby.
Hey, I was talking with Larry yesterday, and
they're not really relevant anymore.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Facts.
But hey, thank you for having me on.
Yes, man. We're gonna go ahead and get into our top 10. Welcome aboard. Here we go.
Former top 10.
Former top 10. Yeah. You're right. So this will probably change later on, I'm sure. We got a new graphic coming out. At 10, we had Spruce Creek. At 9, we had Bishop Moore. At 8, Lake Mary. At 7, Evans. 6, Oviedo. 5, Boone. Number 4, DeLand. Cracking the number 3 spot is West Orange. Holding it down at number 2 is Jones. And number 1, 10-0, Edgewater.
So yeah, there's some changes here. Last night we had a couple games. One, Windermere absolutely destroyed my alumni Oak Ridge, I believe 47-0. Braylon Sanchez sets the all-time school record at Windermere, so I wanted to give him a shout out. Threw 3 touchdowns last night, total of 28 touchdowns. Jack Riley had the record last year with 25. So he tied it and he actually shattered it. So great job to Windermere, 10-0, back-to-back independent league champions. And now they're going to FHSAA. So that's one game. The other game was DeLand and Spruce Creek. And we thought that was going to be a competitive game at least. You know, Spruce Creek has been winning since the delayed game when they were down 14-0 to DeLand. They continued where they left off, and unfortunately for Spruce Creek, they got absolutely embarrassed. DeLand, clicking on all cylinders, won 41-0, a goose egg. They're the only team to shut out Spruce Creek this year. And the one thing about DeLand that I love about DeLand is not a single game was close other than Mainland. They have put away everybody that they played, which shows complete dominance. I knew it last year. They were rolling. Obviously, they got clipped by Lake Mary in the playoff game. A blowout, by the way. But Zach Darlington has been working a lot of my quarterback camps in the summer, and he always told me, he said, look, this is our year. They've had a whole year under my dad's system. Now these kids are comfortable, and we're young. They only have 4 seniors, so they're gonna roll the table. And sure enough, they're rolling. And so in our new rankings, DeLand is actually number 3. They bumped over West Orange, being impressive at 10-0. West Orange goes down to 4. Everything remains the same, other than number 10, which we inserted O'Galley, which was a third game last night, and their absolute mollywop over Merritt Island. They hyped that game up. It was actually close in the second quarter, and then a 99 interception return completely flipped the game. So O'Galley has made our top 10 going into the playoffs, and I'm excited because they might see Bishop Moore in a couple weeks. That might be an interesting matchup. But, yeah, so DeLand is rolling. Nobody wants to see them right now in 7A. They could be facing Lake Mary. They could face Seminole. They could play Spruce Creek again. We don't know how these things are going to shape up tomorrow. But DeLand is rolling.
Yeah, DeLand is rolling. EG last night, EG and Merritt Island, that game was supposed to be somewhat close or whatever. EG absolutely demolished them. EG rushed for 413 yards last night. Xavier Corbin, freshman, had 155 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and then X-Man had 161 yards rushing. Those 2 kids averaged 12 and a half, 13 yards a carry, so they absolutely dominated Merritt Island.
All right. So we got a special segment that we're going to try today. It's going to be called the County Report. And we're going to start off with Osceola.
Let's do it. Osceola County. Hopefully we don't forget nobody. Andy, you could chime in. I think the 2 schools that jump out to me with Osceola County is St. Cloud going 8-2. Jeremiah Latimer finished the season with over 2,700 yards passing, 25 touchdowns. Deshaun Reese, linebacker, had 101 tackles. Then the other team, they're the first in the 7A District 10, so that should help them come playoffs. The second team will be Osceola going 6-4, and they're first in 6A District 5. Elijah Jenkins over 1,000 yards all-purpose. Amir Clark 10 sacks. Kyrie Watson 8 touchdowns. So those are the 2 teams that jumped to me. What about you, Andy?
I mean, we bringing up St. Cloud right out of the gates. I mean, when I got to see him was back in the summer, and seeing Jeremiah at quarterback. I mean, good-looking kid. I would definitely say they're a team that they just stood out all season long. So to me, they're kind of that team in 7A that, I mean, hey, get hot, right time. I mean, you got a quarterback. I feel like that's kind of a dangerous combination, and getting to see some of the weapons they have. I feel like the Bulldogs are going to be a tough out for a lot of teams.
Guys, I told you this from the summer when I was training at St. Cloud. I was seeing some of these dudes walk on the field. I'm like, who do you play for? St. Cloud, St. Cloud. I'm like, hold on. Something's changing over here, and that has a lot of credit to do with Coach Short. This dude is the real deal, man. I love Michael. He has treated me nothing but with respect. He loves what I'm doing with my quarterback business. Obviously, I trained my boy over the summer for a while. Got to see his freak of nature and freakish talent. Now he's the all-time leading passer in school history, and he's only a sophomore. But St. Cloud, man, I told you guys earlier, I thought this was the year. If they were going to beat Osceola, it was going to be this year. But a lot of these guys, guess what, come back next year. So this might even be a team that's even better next year. So we're going to see where St. Cloud lines up. But with that being said, they're going to be a 2 seed in their region. But unfortunately for them, they might have to see Dr. Phillips at home. And they're going to have to play some of these big boys that would be considered a lower seed because of their, not being a district champion. But at the same time, this is the playoffs. So you got to play everybody at this point. So it'll be interesting to see how they match up with a team like Dr. Phillips, which the only comparable team would be Osceola that they've seen, and that did not end well. But, man, as far as it goes, St. Cloud, I love what they did this year, and I'm one of their biggest fans for sure.
Next up, Volusia.
I would think about Volusia County, obviously. D-Land going undefeated. They're first in 7A District 2. Taj Moore, over 1,200 yards all-purpose, 21 touchdowns. And then Marcellus Carey, it's like Batman and Robin. He has over 1,400 yards all-purpose and 17 touchdowns. Then the second team that comes to mind is obviously Spruce Creek going 8-2. They finished second in the district. And then Mainland went a quiet 7-2. So yeah, we'll get to see those 3 teams represent Volusia. But yeah, pretty good ball clubs right there.
DeLand is the team to beat, guys. I'm just gonna say it right here. They're not. It's not. It's them and everybody else.
Got to see him last night. I got to see that. As Baylin says, the molly-whopping. I was expecting. I thought I was walking into something that was going to be of a game, and it was 14-0. Then it quickly, turned into 21-0, 28-0. I mean, but when you think of Rick Darlington and just what he did at Apopka, and then you knew like in 2022 when he already had them in a state semifinal that it was gonna, this was gonna be something that was gonna be fast moving. It wasn't gonna be this kind of slow progression. Last year 5-5, this year 10-0, and a reporter asked him a question after the game of, Coach, what does 10-0 mean to you? And I loved his answer because he said absolutely nothing. We haven't done anything. He said we have to go in the next week, focus on that game, and it's game by game, and it's the old adage, but you have an old school coach that's coaching these guys and letting them know. I mean, job's nowhere near done. I mean, you might think 10-0 something, but it's nothing. It's nothing if you don't win games in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, AJ, next we got
what we got?
Lake County.
Lake County, all right. Obviously, South Lake finishing 9-1. They're number one in 6A District 6. Trey Kelly over 1,900 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, but he also had 12 rushing touchdowns. So the young man finishes 32 touchdowns at receiving. Kendrick Powell, his favorite receiver, had over 1,000 yards receiving. Just a real good ball club. Jesse Baker Jr., this guy had 18 sacks. 18 sacks. That's a very productive season. 31 TFLs. He's getting it done. And then I think about Tavares. They got a couple players that just jump out to me. Tamari Collins, young man, had 1,478 yards rushing, 25 touchdowns. And then the Bentley twins, Ari and Jelani. One of them had 111 tackles, Ari, and then Jelani had 92 tackles. So Tavares and South Lake are the two teams that and I throw East Ridge in there as well. They're just young. East Ridge, they got to play some defense, man. Duke Brown, obviously, Duke Garrison. Those two young men are fantastic. I think they are elite athletes. But then the quarterback, Karan Palmer, he had 27 touchdowns this year, only 3 interceptions. So if they can get better on the defensive side of the ball, I think that this team could be something in the future.
Yeah, those are the two teams that we're going to talk about. South Lake and Tavares, honestly, those are the only two teams that have shown that they are, worthy to even be mentioned in Lake County, to be honest with you. South Lake had a chance. They were 6-0 and lost 4 straight.
Eastridge.
What did I say?
South Lake.
Yeah, South Lake did not lose 4 games in a row. They have lost 1 game, and that was to Tavares, I think. Right?
Tavares, was it?
No.
Yeah.
Villages.
No. Villages.
Yeah. So, anyways, Tavares rolling right now. They are missing arguably the best linebacker in the entire country. But what they said last week on social media, don't matter if they're not healthy or not. They play together. They win as a team, and that's what they're going to do. Trey Kelly for South Lake, phenomenal year. Set the school record for passing touchdowns. Anytime you have a legendary coach that has won it at a high level, a foundation like Coach Lord, you're giving yourself an opportunity. And South Lake has completely shown that they've turned the tide over there in that county, that they are the top dogs to beat every single year. And I love that going into the playoffs. Anything can happen when you're in the playoffs, especially when you have a coach that has a well-coached football team and a quarterback that's playing like Trey is. It's going to be interesting to see how this is, because according to them, they could beat anybody, especially in our top 10. So we're going to see how this really plays out when playoffs come out. So you have every opportunity to do so.
Woo. Well, hey, they play in 6A Region 2, and you got Armwood sitting there. Now, I know that's, that when you say you can beat anybody in that region, I mean, you got to include them, which I feel like I got to remind folks that entire secondary has a Division I commit. I mean, you got a Miami commit, a Colorado commit, a UConn commit, a Wake Forest commit at each of your positions. Not to even mention Armwood's front is something to deal with. But South Lake, like they've had a great season, 9-1. I mean, you mentioned East Ridge, just that 6-0 start, and then 4 games in a row, and you give up that 77 spot to Tavares. I mean, just like such a high to get to at 6-0, and then you're just, I mean, like no momentum going into potentially the playoffs. I mean, we'll see when these rankings or these final ratings come out, but South Lake's been the class of Lake County.
AJ on deck, we have Seminole
County.
Well,
Seminole County for years ran through Seminole. It was what it was. Since Noah Grubbs has been a freshman at Lake Mary, things have kind of changed in their favor. And when you have a top quarterback in the country, you always have a good shot of winning. Not to mention they have a fantastic coaching staff. So you look at Lake Mary going 7-3 this year, and 7A District 3. They're number 1 in that district. Barrett Schultz 667 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns. O'Shea Faison, he had 807 yards all-purpose, 9 touchdowns, and then Noah. This was statistically Noah's worst season, which is crazy. He still had 23 touchdowns, very productive, almost 2,000 yards passing. Then you look at Oviedo going 8-2. They're number 1 in 6A District 4. Their quarterback, Sebastian Gianni, he had 18, 23, 25 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. This year, the quarterback play around Central Florida has been phenomenal. When you talk about 25 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, that's just crazy to me, man. And then his favorite wide receiver, Deshaun Phibbs, 31 receptions, 730 yards, and 11 touchdowns. And then you make your way to Seminole. They're number 2 in 7A District 3. Anthony Gay III, over 1,100 yards all-purpose, 10 touchdowns. Chap, this young man had over 1,000 yards all-purpose as well. And then Rasheem Turner at linebacker, 93 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, 1 blocked field goal. And then you keep on going down the road to Lake Brantley, 6-4, led by Jackson Stetcher, quarterback. He had 20 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. So we're talking about a 5-to-1 ratio. His favorite receiver, I believe, is Jacob McDonald, who he'll come back next year. But Devon Washington also chipped in with 793 yards. So we'll see what Lake Brantley is heading in the right direction. I think with Jackson, he's going to be the premier quarterback in Seminole County moving forward. So we'll see how that shakes out in the next couple of years.
Yeah, you did a good report on that. And Haggerty, I believe, Haggerty's in the mix too. I believe they made the playoffs. They might be the 7th seed. They might see Lake Mary first round. Oh, you're excited about Seminole County. But yeah, Seminole, like you said, they have been the top dog every year. Lake Mary with Noah Grubbs has been the only team to really compete with Seminole, and Noah was 4-2 against them in his career there, won back-to-back district titles, which means they have been the higher seed the last 2 years in the playoffs. It would be phenomenal to get that game one more time if both those guys can see each other, maybe in the regional championship or even first round, depending on where they seed Lake Mary tomorrow based off their victory over Bishop Moore. So we'll see how that plays out. But I think Haggerty has something to say. I believe they finished 6-4, 7-3. Their quarterback had a historical year, beat Caden Mitchell's record for all-time passing touchdowns. You also had Lake Howell, who had win 6-4. They're out of the playoffs, but they had a pretty decent year, better than normal. But yeah, the top dogs seem to be, Lake Mary and Seminole. Then you had Lake Brantley, who kind of flirted with that for a while, and then they played Lake Mary and Seminole, and then Haggerty, and got beat bad by all three teams. It wasn't close in either one of those three games, which kind of shows you the little separation there. But they're headed in the right direction at 6-4, because I believe they lost their last game to Sebring. So interesting, year there. But I think Seminole County overall had the best county for football. That was so competitive that any given week, one of these teams could have won. But the two top dogs, in my opinion, came out on top: Lake Mary and Seminole.
Andy, what you got?
I mean, I gotta agree with that. With what Baylin just said, kind of just like the competitiveness in Seminole County. When you looked at the teams, and then you on it, surface level, like just seeing the scores, like you saw some. I guess like if you weren't there watching the games on a weekly basis, you just kind of saw a parity, and I think that was something that, depending who you were, like maybe you didn't feel like there was as much of that. But I think this year, more so than previous ones, I mean, you saw some of that. You felt like, almost like on any given Friday, I mean, one of these teams has a chance. It wasn't so much of a kind of a done deal when it came to, facing one another. But I mean, looking at the county itself, I mean, Lake Mary kind of, closing the book on the regular season with a good win. I don't know if it'll. I mean, I could not say it's going to vault them to the top seed. I mean, I'm looking, kind of at Region 1 right now in 7A, and I mean, yeah, Spruce Creek's loss, I think that'll bump them down. Boone losing. It's all so wonky. I would be hard pressed to say that DeLand's going to drop at all. So, Seminole and Lake Mary, like Baylin said, I've been to a couple of those. I mean, those are electric environments when you're talking about those two teams playing. So it would be, for Noah, nice for him to kind of improve on that 4-2 record and be able to beat him maybe one more time, or face him at least one more time. But yeah, and Lake Brantley's made strides, 3 wins better than last year, and being a 6-4 team now, I mean, could be a interesting 8 seed potentially. I mean, just based on what's, right now on the FHSA website.
All right. Moving right along, AJ, we got Brevard up next.
Brevard County. So for years, Brevard County, Coco has run Brevard County. EG this year, I personally believe EG was the best team in Brevard County. I think they played the toughest schedule. They went 7-3. Their star quarterback got hurt, the 3rd offensive player of the game, but they were still able to win their district, their first in 3A, District 8. True freshman Xavier Corbin, he is a grown man. The guy has just about 1,000 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns total, and then X-Man, Xavier Larisi, the Oregon commit. I mean, what doesn't he do? He has about 1,700 yards all purpose, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He punts for them. So yeah, EG, I think they got it rolling. Their run game is gonna give everybody fits in the playoffs. Then you go down to Cocoa. They finished the season 5-4. They're first in 2A District 6, but they're winning when it matters. They took some tough losses, but in 2A, Cocoa they dominate 2A. So at the end of the day, I believe Cocoa will make a run for the Final Four, if not for another state championship. And I think that'll be 4 in a row if they're able to get there and win. Quietly, New Smyrna Beach. Nobody's talking about New Smyrna Beach, but New Smyrna Beach went 8-2 this year. And they were first in 4A District 6. Running back Todd Cutler Jr. had 1,354 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns. So that's a team you want to look out for. Merritt Island, we obviously saw what EG did to them last night. But they're second in 3A District 8. And last but not least for me, Holy Trinity. They're first in 1A District 6, 7-3. Rico, my boy Rico had about 1,700 yards passing, 23 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So that's more good quarterback play.
Come on.
And Jaden McMillan, his favorite wide receiver, had 10 touchdowns and also 3 interceptions. So Brevard County, it was pretty good, Brevard County this year.
Hearing that Cocoa prediction definitely makes me like, I feel like 2A's, I mean, me and Larry were saying it yesterday. We feel like it's almost like a done deal with Cardinal Mooney and Jacksonville Bulls. We feel like they're kind of like on this crash course. I mean, I guess the thing is, Cocoa, you go back to the cliche saying, don't underestimate the heart of a champion, but I mean, the 4 losses are ones that I think you definitely, if you're looking at those 2 teams that they could end up facing in a state semifinal, I don't see them having enough in the tank offensively. I mean, it would take some defensive, huge undertaking to be able to stop those offenses and just win kind of a low scoring game. But hey, I mean, I guess anything could happen in the Final Four. But yeah, I mean, O'Galley last night just flexing their proverbial muscle against Merritt Island, kind of showing that they're kind of that class of the Brevard area. So, I mean, it's been for the longest Cocoa, but we said it yesterday, Brady Hart and Javon Boggs, they're not walking through that door. So, I mean, they might have they got some defensive pieces, and that's fine. But, I mean, offensively, they just – you're talking about one of the most prolific quarterback wide receiver duos and taking that production off of the team. Like, how do you replace that? You didn't. And now it's like you're trying to – just piecemeal an offense every Friday. And against those couple teams I aforementioned, like, you can't just put something together and hope and pray that you're going to score some points. Like, you either are proven and you can score points or you don't.
Yeah, completely agree.
For sure.
You don't have Brady Hart, you don't have Javon Boggs, so you better figure it out very fast if you really want to have a 4-peat, which has never been done in Cocoa history. And Merritt Island, they better figure themselves out defensively. I believe Kevin Verapalli has been playing it phenomenal this year. He just committed to Pitt. Has a lot of momentum. Again, they actually went up 7-0 in O'Galley, had an opportunity to take the lead into halftime. Then they threw a 99-yard pick six, which changed the entire game and ended in a blowout, 42-22, I believe was the final score last night. But I believe Merritt Island is still a good football team. That was a team that brought Cocoa into, I believe, a couple overtimes. They ended up losing that game as well. Cocoa just has to grow up fast if they really want to have that opportunity to have a 4-peat, and then Merritt Island has to pick it up. O'Galley, they're going to have I think the best route to a Final Four to play a possible Northwestern. They still have to go through Bishop Moore, which is, Orange County. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I think those are the 3 teams. And then, Titusville had a good year. I was actually impressed with Titusville. Yeah. They did get spanked in a couple games, and one most notably West Orange, got absolutely
I think
mollywopped.
they're 5-5. I think they finished
Yeah,
5-5.
but I love where they're going, and they have arguably I believe top 3 players in the entire county on their team. Phenomenal talent. Tank, I believe his name is.
Tank Harvey.
Yeah, Tank Harvey. So I know, and I got to know him really, really well because they challenged me the week of West Orange. Like, do you know who Tank Harvey is? Because he's about to get at your boy. And no sacks, by the way. AJ Chung lit it up. But anyways, he's still arguably the best player, if not top 3 in that county. So great job to Titusville in their season. But the 3 teams to beat is O'Galley, Cocoa, and Merritt Island right now.
For sure. Last but not least, speaking of Orange, Orange County.
So Orange County kind of big, man. We got a lot of schools in Orange County, so I try
it's massive. It's massive, AJ. But we only talk about maybe 4 or 5 of these.
All right, so look, let me give a little love to the little dogs, so to speak. Innovation going 8-2. That's a big deal. Windermere, obviously, you mentioned him again, going undefeated. Shout out to Elijah Mosley. This young man had 16.5 sacks. CFCA, 9-1. Gavin Priscow, he's another 8th grader, throwing 26 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. Crazy work.
The numbers are insane. They lost their first round game last week, but he did not play. So he had suffered an injury in his throwing shoulder the week before. They were hoping they can get past at least the first round, and then he would have came back, but it didn't happen, and they got spanked. So, but like you said, man, phenomenal season for CFC and Gavin Priscow.
Yeah. Then we move up another notch. Let's go to Winter Springs, 7-3. They finished 2nd in 5A District 5. Lake Nona, 7-3. They finished 2nd in District 7. DeAnthony Lafayette, this man had 14.5 sacks. It's an All-American in Lake Nona too. Charles Wilson Jr.
He's committed to Bama, right? Where's he
I don't
committed?
think he ain't committed to nobody.
Who's the kid committed to Bama? Oh, is that the kid from West Orange?
No, yeah, Lafayette is committed to LSU.
Yeah, he's about to flip to Miami while he keep playing.
Hey, man, not if they keep damn losing, he ain't. But
LSU better find a head coach so they can pay him.
Yeah, you're right about it. But LSU's LSU, though, boy. They're the resources. Anyway, Boone, 9-1. They finished 1st in 7A. 1st in 7A District 4. Edgewater, undefeated season. They're 1st in 5A District 5. Keep going right along. Let's go to Jones. DC, they're 1st in District 4A, District 7. When I looked at Jones, the crazy stat was Darion, obviously, just about 2,000 yards passing, 23 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he's got a 21-0 ratio. But then the receiving core, Larry Miles has 60 catches for 740 yards, 8 touchdowns. DJ Hicks has 39 catches for 710 and 9 touchdowns. So I think DJ Hicks is a very key piece to Jones' success moving forward. Bishop Moore, 9-1. Bishop Moore got to stop the run. If they don't stop the run come playoff time, and they have to play EG, that's not going to be good. So Bishop Moore, they had a fantastic season. They're 1st in 3A District 6. Go on to Evans, 8-2. They're 2nd in 6A. They had a terrific season beating Jones and Lake Mary. Unfortunately, they did not win their district, which is kind of a hurtful situation. West Orange at 9-1. They're 1st in 7A District 5. We talked about Chung. But D2, I think that he is one of the best athletes. Devontae Anderson, he has 4 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. He can cover. He's physical. So yeah, Orange County, we got a lot of good teams that's heading into the playoffs. So we'll see what we're able to do with them.
Hey, don't forget about Ocoee. Now I know they're 5-5, but guess what? As far as it looks, they're going to make the playoffs too, and so that'll be interesting if they actually pull it off with Tyson Davison and their injuries that they've had. Wakaiva, terrible season. Honestly, I don't even know why I even brought them up, to be honest with you. But yeah, so Yeah, I believe Okoye might have been the only one that we didn't mention in that little group that we talked about here. But I think that Jones with Darion and what they're doing in the path that they have to a state title, I believe that we see them again. Edgewater, obviously they have a harder road, but the way that they're established and how they've been playing, they can easily make it to a state championship and have the caliber of talent to do so. But these other teams have to work. I believe DeLand right now in 7A in this area might be the top dog, honestly. But you got teams like Boone who can do something crazy, and then another team we didn't mention, Winter Park. They're going to make the playoffs probably, and they have arguably the best player in Central Florida, Aiden Pouncey, who's committed to Notre Dame. So, this thing could get really interesting in Orange County. I'd love for an Orange County school to represent other than Apopka, which obviously their 2-8 season, they are absolutely done. But we'll see who represents Orange County when it comes time to games in the playoffs. But it should get very interesting here.
Andy, what you got?
Well, I would say I'm gonna continue with my preseason prediction. I put it out there that Jones is on a mission. They are on a mission to get back to Pitbull Stadium to win what they feel like was rightfully theirs. And I still feel that way, even with a couple losses. I think they can. I mean, when I look at 4A, I feel like it's kind of wide open. I mean, I know everybody looked at, kind of like Plantation American Heritage, and at the beginning they made this New England Patriots like comeback against St. Joseph's Prep at the Broward County Classic, and then Diabel goes down for the year, and then they get like the free agent acquisition of the transfer portal high school. You get a kid who won a state championship at another school come in, and Leon Strotter, and I mean, American Heritage and Jones, I mean, part 2, I feel like
American Heritage didn't even win their district this year. They ended 3-7 or 4-6. Like, they weren't even a good football team this year. Well, based off their record, now they had a hard schedule, but based off their record, they didn't even win their district. And Norland didn't either. I don't even remember who won their district, but it wasn't them.
Yeah, I feel like people judging their record, like I feel like looking at their team, the makeup, the talent, experience, I feel like that loss to Archbishop McCarthy was the one that made me.
Yeah, that's the one. They won the district.
Yeah. Like I'm not getting on them about losing to Aquinas or Sham.
Right.
I mean, me like Edna Carr, even they found out like that week about this whole Diabel news, and then they go in and have a receiver playing quarterback, and they come within a touchdown of one of the nationally ranked teams. And to me, like they're just a very hot and cold type team. So we don't know. I mean, but to me, Jones seems like one of the more consistent teams in Class 4A. So I feel like they absolutely have a shot to, not only to get back to the state championship, but to win it. I mean, looking at West Orange in Class 7A, I mean, you said it, AJ Chung's played out of his mind this year. I mean, 36 touchdowns, only a couple picks. I mean, can't ask for any better quarterback play. I was impressed with him over the summer in 7-on-7, and he's taken that. I keep saying the same because I heard it from our newly acquired Greg Biggins over in the West Coast. There's the players that major in 7-on-7 and they're minoring and playing tackle football, but you have the kids that are translating that 7-on-7 play to the field, and that's the stuff that I love to see. And he's one of those kids like I was impressed with. Kevin Verbali too. Seeing him play, I said he can spin it. I said to a lot of people, I said I hadn't heard a ton about him, but I felt like coming away from the 7-on-7. He was very impressive. But I just feel like in 7A for West Orange, it's you got Venice in that region, and that was something me and Larry said. If they got to go to Venice, I mean, you guys probably we know it's tough to go win over there. I mean, probably go talk to Seminole a couple of years ago. You remember?
But TFA won't say that.
West Orange had to go to Venice like 5 or 6 years ago. Remember when they had Gibby, Assad? They had that bomb team. And Yeah, we got
Last year was what 55-26, from what I remember. So
Yeah.
I mean now it's not the same Venice team. That's what I keep telling people. This is not the same team. So I think West Orange absolutely has a shot. I think it's gonna be a good game if they have a rematch in the region.
Tyree Mannings Jr. versus Devontae Anderson.
Oh,
Dude, that's a dream
Andy.
matchup.
Yeah.
I have to get your thoughts though. Let's go to the region where Lake Mary is with Dr. Phillips and Seminole. And what's up, man? What do you think? Do you think Lake Mary has a chance to come back, or what? What do you think?
I think so. I mean, and watching DeLand last night, and then kind of just like, and I know it's not.
DeLand's in that dang region.
Yeah, DeLand right there at the top. I feel like you got to start with them just because of, and watching them. I mean, the last time I saw them, I kind of told everybody the last time I saw DeLand and Coach Darlington, I was on his sideline, and then he yelled at me. He's like, "Andy, back up! You're gonna get me a flag." And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, Coach." Like,
Lake Mary knows about that with me. Trust me, I got them a penalty last year in the Seminole
playoffs.
Pick six. Well, it wasn't a pick six. He got down at like the 3-yard line, and I got a penalty warning, and I hid behind a tent.
He was hide. He tried to go hide in the injury tent.
And Perry was like, "Hey, who was it on?" And the ref doesn't obviously know who I am, so he was like, "Kid with the hat." I'm like, "Oh
no!"
Man,
he had on the whole Notre Dame outfit. The referee said,
he said, "That's right, Notre Dame hat." This is exactly
the guy in the Notre Dame outfit.
I went behind the tent. They were looking for me, and I can guarantee not one person knew exactly where I was. I was literally by myself on the ground, like, you are not kicking me off this sideline.
By 10 minutes.
And then the next play, they scored a touchdown. So then I got out, and I was like, all right, looking around, like, okay, maybe they forgot. As soon as Perry locked eyes, "You almost costed me that touchdown." I said, "Oh, man." But he didn't kick me off the field. So, and then after the game, he hugged me, and I'm like, "Coach, I'm sorry." But then he's like, "Well, I'm going to he was like, "We're going to the Final Four." So, like, we kind of forgot about, it was cool.
Yeah.
But now it's like your inside joke, because it's like every time he sees me, he's like, "You're not going to cost me a flag."
Well, Andy, I agree, though. Out of all of the teams that we talked about, I think Jones has the greatest chance of winning the state championship, because when I look at Dillard, going 10-0, and Zephyr Hills, those teams don't scare me. They don't scare me. Yeah, they don't scare me when I see Jones. I respect them, but it's the American Heritage that's the one, and I just don't think that they're the same caliber.
One thing that American Heritage don't have, that kid at Miami going absolutely berserk that played quarterback last year, Malachi Tony. So that he's proven why he's that dude. So yeah,
we talked about
Darion Coleman in that state title game. I don't know if anybody wants to see him play that game, because he's going to go crazy.
And that was something Marcus Benjamin asked me on his show, the Benjamin Report. He was kind of like, who's going to be that Malachi Tony kind of player, which to me, like, he played one game, in the state title game, but, the most important game. And he, I mean, he looks like somebody that, I mean, if you didn't know that Diabel was ever going to be on the team, I mean, he could have absolutely played quarterback all 4 years at American Heritage. And I'm pretty sure the Patriots would have been just fine. But I mean, the player that I kept saying to him, I was like, I mean, there's a quarterback out of Cardinal Mooney, this Davin Davidson kid. I'm like, this kid is, I don't know. I didn't know too much about him at all, but I got to see him in the spring, and I was like 6'6", like 215. I said, this kid is, and then he's got, rocket arm. I mean, he can throw off platform, just get, put the ball where he wants. And the thing is, people don't know, Cardinal Mooney's already got a quarterback on the team that's won a state championship. So you're taking another kid, a younger kid, a sophomore, competing him against this senior quarterback who's already won a state title. And that's where, you're looking at who's going to be that kind of breakout player. I mean, in Central Florida, the guys who are on the scene in these playoffs, I mean, they're guys who have already been there. I mean, I don't know if there's somebody that is going to be like, oh, you don't know about him, but he's going to make a name for himself. I mean, I guess, maybe AJ
Jones has an opportunity to do this.
I feel like he's somebody though. If you don't know about him, then I mean, you don't know too much. Like when it comes to quarterbacks in the state, you should know AJ.
I market him pretty well, so you're right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like he's somebody that if you're like, oh, I haven't heard of him, it's like,
well, I'll tell you what, Andy, there's a quarterback out of St. Augustine that's the real deal.
Yes.
And he came behind Hewlett, who's now USF. He's putting up big numbers, and American Heritage better watch out for St. Augustine because they might not even find themselves in the state title game if they lose to a team like them in the Final Four. So they better be careful.
Is it St. Augustine like 9-1?
Yeah, they're
just got to see them against Mandarin. Brenton James, tall kid. Like to see maybe just a little bit, maybe a little bit more muscle, but I mean, he's got a nice arm. Obviously, can move outside of the pocket, make the throws. I mean, he found Samarian Wingo on a couple kind of just broken plays. But I mean, I definitely think the Jackets are a team that definitely people need to be kind of watching out for. I don't know if they have enough, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they can make that run and get to the state title game. It'd be interesting if they faced Jones or Jones didn't somehow make it. But to me, I'm banking on they're making it. So to me, it's like, who's going to face them? Is it going to be American Heritage from last year? Are they making that return? I don't know. St. Augustine is a team that is kind of due. I mean, they were in the state title game a couple of years ago, lost in a heartbreaker to Mainland. And, I'm sure, those guys want to get back. They're looking at it like, hey, we got a pretty good team. I mean, lost to Mandarin, but Mandarin is for all the talent they have at the skill position, I said, they want to run downhill at you. Larry made the joke, Bryson Wright making the one-handed catch, but he said it was on a bunch of 9-year-olds. But, he's playing against St. Augustine, definitely no players under the age of 10 on that team. I thought St. Augustine did a good job of covering him. And, the only player that kind of I thought loose was the Tian Weish kid from Mandarin who had a nice game. But, no, I think they got a shot. I definitely do.
I'll tell you one quarterback that doesn't want to see Darion Coleman again. Will Griffin from Jesuit. And they might have to see Jones in a Final Four. And they remember the last time these two teams played each other. And Darion put on a show.
That's who Larry thinks is going to the final. He thinks it's Jesuit and Jones. He thinks it's Jesuit Jones. So battle of war and
Florida versus Miami. I would die to see that.
Oh, that would be great. I saw Jesuit back in the spring. Not that they weren't impressive against Lakeland. I don't know. I'm not like revisiting 2021 when they won it with Luke Knight and saying, man, it's like that kind of team. I mean, not that they don't have other dudes around him. I don't know. We'll see. They have a tough region, so I don't think that's like. It's not going to be a walk in the park for them because they lost to Port Charlotte last year, and Port Charlotte I don't think is that far off from what they were last year. So it's not. It might look like on paper they could kind of just get through that without any kind of resistance, but I don't think so. I think they're gonna, it's gonna be a battle to see who ends up winning that region.
Guys, man, thank you guys for hopping on with us this week. Andy, good to see you, man.
Appreciate it, Andy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you for taking time out your day and jumping on with us for a few minutes and chopping it up with us, man. Baylin, man, what we got going on this week, man?
Well, hopefully Miami can win a football game this Saturday. They have Syracuse favored by 28.5. I don't know what these Vegas predictors are thinking, but Miami has to prove themselves. But yeah, I'll be watching Miami this weekend. That's for sure. My son's last soccer game this fall season, his first ever fall sport, is this Saturday. So I'm excited to see him one last time in a soccer uniform, and then we'll probably move it on to flag football here soon. But yeah, that's what's on the agenda. I got training in the morning. If any quarterbacks are watching, they want to get some good work. Lake Nona High School from 10 to 12 p.m. I'll be at Lake Nona doing a training session there, and then I'll be watching them Hurricanes at 3:30. So that's on the agenda, and then probably going to a pumpkin patch on Sunday with my wife and the family. So that's what we got.
That's what's up. AJ, what's on the books?
This weekend is the wife, her birthday. So we probably go out of town somewhere, do something, Tampa, you know.
Did you just have like an wedding anniversary not too long ago?
Anniversary was last weekend. So when I was younger,
Same
so look, just hear me out, bro. Hear me out. So when I was younger, I was like,
I feel you, bro.
I might as well just kind of like get these, like, group them together instead of 1 month and then gotta. So I don't know what made me do it, but we definitely got married a week before her birthday. So
AJ, I feel you do, because you ready for this? I got married June 3rd.
Right.
My son's birthday's June 16th, and my wife's birthday's June 18th. And then it's Father's Day weekend. So you want to talk about a month? Yeah, June is. I got to put on at least 3 camps. I got to have training every day those 4 days, because that's that. Yeah, you're talking about money being spent.
Oh man, gentlemen, it's always a pleasure, man, walking with y'all, man. Well, everybody, have a great week. We'll see the playoff brackets drop tomorrow. Same time, same place next week, right here on Varsity Sports Nation. Peace.
Peace.
Varsity Sports Nation. Unleash the champion within.